Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Michi Makes Up. A few videos ago, I showed you some PR items that I received from REPHR. I want to spend some time in today's video to demo these items for you guys, do some comparisons, and also to talk about the current promotions happening on REPHR's website. So this is their holiday promotion. It goes right up until October 31st at the end of this month. So it's been happening for a couple of days, or maybe several days now. When I received these brushes, it took me some time before I actually washed them and begin to use them. Now that I've tried them a couple of times, I'm ready to, talk to you guys about it. There is an exception though. There is one brush that I did not try, I haven't tried yet, so it would be a first impressions with you guys in this video. So moving on to the promotions that are currently happening. Their flagship eye set, which includes brush 1, 2, 3, and brushes 12, 15, and 29. Currently, it is 45% off. And if you order by October 31st, you will also receive a complimentary modular vanity component B. Component B includes these two pieces here, and it's magnetic, so you could stick them together. And it's called modular because you can modify. There are magnets on every side of these pieces. So you can actually, if you wanted more than one of these, you could order, I guess you could order another component B and get 2 of each of these and just place them however you would like. You can see here that I've put in some lipsticks and lip glosses already, and it's just the right fit for these Suku Comfort Lip Fluid Glow, Fluid Fogs. And then this here is actually one space that I was able to fit 3 of the Chantecaille Cielos. And I was just playing around. I was just trying to see, what kind of items would fit in here, so it fit these kind of chunkier lipsticks that I have. And then this one is good for brushes. It's good for anything that you need to put into a container. Let's try to put some brushes in here. So this is just one example, and I also have some foundation sticks that are a bit bigger, and I could put those in here as well. So pretty flexible. I do think the cool part is that you can mix and match the pieces, and because of the magnets, kind of put them together, configure them however you would like so that it best fits your space. So that is the first promotion with the flagship eye set. The next promotion is you can also receive 20% off regular items. That's anything. That is the ultra popular brush 22, which I use exclusively for bronzer, and it's very soft. It makes quick work of buffing out, diffusing bronzer, and I love this. So you can get this just a single brush for 20% off, or anything else, any other items, including their eyelash curlers, even these modular pieces, you can get it for 20% off if you weren't gonna get the flagship eye set or any other sets available. The third promotion they have here is also the launch collection. The launch collection is currently 40% off. It includes 14 brushes that were part of their launch in 2019. And I don't have the prices off the top of my head, but I just remember seeing them and thinking that, these are steep discounts, 40%, 45%. And the reason that they could give us these discounts is, from what I understand, that they were able to work with the manufacturer, and any savings that they got, they just passed them directly to customers, to shoppers. So that is also great to hear. And then for the final promotion, this one contains the brushes I will be demoing today. The holiday collection, it has 3 brushes. These 2 are face brushes. We have a foundation brush, and this is brush 31. Then we have brush 30, an all over face brush. I use it for all over face powder. I may try to use it for like the Guerlain Meteorites, maybe. We'll see how it goes. And then finally we have brush 32, which is an eye brush, but I'm gonna try to use it to pack in concealer today, which is why I only have eye makeup on and I have my brows done, but that's it, because I want to use these brushes to apply the rest of the makeup. This set is going for 40% off. And if you purchase by October 31st, you will receive 3 modular vanity pieces. The pieces you will receive are component B, so these 2, and also component C. This is component C, and it is a graded acrylic organizer. It also has magnets on each side, which means you can pair it with other pieces and have them hold up as such. So so you can do that. And I do want to show you what this looks like when I have some palettes in it. So I have a big palette that I might put at the back here, and of course it could fit a whole range of palette sizes. And then we have a smaller. I think that's really cool. I am definitely running out of space, so I'm hoping these organizers is going to help me get some space back. What I haven't had time to do is really take them all out and see how I might incorporate it either on top of my vanity or in the drawers. But once I get some time to play with that, I'll probably share a photo of my success. Well, hopefully a success and not much failures there. Well, let's move on to the demoing the brushes. Let me put this away. I'm going to start first with concealer. And my eyes are pretty puffy today. I had gone out last night. I have not gone out and stayed out anywhere past 11 p.m. for 2 years, maybe longer than that. And so last night was just really an exception. So my eyes are quite puffy today. This concealer should help me out here. I am using brush 32 to pack in this concealer. Brush 32 is described as a eyeshadow or eye brush, but because it's made up of undyed goat hair, and REPHR brushes are made in Kumano, Japan, I'm thinking this would be good for liquids and creams. I do like the angle of this brush. I think it works, or it feels really nice on, like, especially working this area here, but I think it can be denser for the purpose of packing on concealer, because with concealer, the idea is that, at least for me, what I need is I want my concealer to be packed on, and I want the tool to be able to diffuse the product, but most of it should remain in place. So I'm just like diffusing it to the surrounding immediate area, but most of it should still stay in place because you want that concealer effect to really last and, you know, cover any darkness underneath. But I will try the brush and I'll wipe it off using a cream shadow to see how that works with, like, on the eyelid. So brush 32 on the website is described as a favorite amongst early testers. Brush 32 has a unique shape that's designed for blending out harsh lines, smudging, and eye contouring. Also available individually at $28. Earlier I didn't have the pricing, but now that I'm looking at the website, the regular price without any promotions is $226 US. And with the promotion now that they're running, it is $136 US, and you will also receive 3 pieces of the modular vanity components, 1 of component B that I showed you guys earlier, and 2 of component C, which is that graded organizer. I'm next going to move on to foundation, and I'm using Westman Atelier's Vital Stick Foundation. 2 shades here that I like to mix and match is Atelier 1 and Atelier 4. So Atelier 1, I'll put some onto areas that I want to appear lighter. I'm now going in with brush 31. Brush 31 is described as one of the most frequently requested brush of all time. Brush 31 is the larger sibling to brush 17 and is packed with both natural and synthetic fibers to deliver a luxurious streak-free application, also available individually at $99. Brush 31 is a foundation brush type that I do not have. The closest in my collection is going to be Merit Beauty's brush 1, but Merit Beauty's is 100% synthetic. And also this brush 32, you can see that some fibers and hairs are longer than others, and this is an intentional design. So let's give this a try. I'm going to come a little bit closer here so you guys can have a look at the finish. It looks to me everything is nicely blended together. It also, I think the application or the coverage is a bit heavier than what I'm used to when I'm using Sonia G's Classic Base. The contrast here against the Classic Base is that the Classic Base makes quick work when I move around. There is a bit of a heaviness because with the way this is shaped and how dense this is packed together. Basically at the base, it's very, very dense and closely packed. So it's just how it feels. Obviously with the finish, there's nothing wrong with it. I think it looks really nice. It got the job done. I also did use this brush for liquid foundation rather than the cream foundation that I'm using today. With the liquid foundation, I do think it feels lighter because it just glides and you can move the product around easier. So it feels lighter, feels easier with liquid, and with cream, I definitely feel more of a heaviness with this brush. For setting powder, I'm going to use Milk Makeup's Blur and Set Powder. This is a matte translucent powder. I'm going to go in with brush 30. Brush 30 described on the website. The description is luxurious, impossibly soft, and perfectly airy. Designed based on community feedback and likely our final large powder brush release. Also available individually at $99. So I'm just going to tap this in. So this is with one dab. It's a good amount of product. I'm going to tap off that excess. I think brush 30 does a fine job of diffusing and setting the loose powder, and I think I have good coverage, maybe a few areas that need a little bit more. Now, because it is soft and airy, I wonder what happens or how it performs when I use it for a pressed product. So let me take out Dior's Powder No Powder, and I'm going to add that all over the face using this brush. So this is the Dior Powder No Powder, and it can be used as a finishing powder but also a setting powder as well, but it is a big gelée product, and I'm going to try to pick some up with this brush. So I did a good few swirls here. Pigment is very light. I don't expect to see a ton on here. I'm just going to add it to the face. I did go over my face multiple times using this brush, and I got a good amount of product on. I do think that because this brush is so airy, if you want to use it for something like this, I think you get a quicker turnaround using a brush that is denser, like some sort of buffer brush or something that's just densely packed. No fault to this brush. I still think this excels at the loose powder, kind of quick all over placement. Some people might even enjoy using this as like a bronzer to diffuse. I can see that working well too, but for this, it took me a few more tries to get the kind of product and result that I want to. Overall, it still looks fine. So if you just had this brush and you needed to use it for multiple purposes, it would still get the job done. Now taking brush 32, I'm going into Charlotte Tilbury's Rose Gold. This is her Eyes to Mesmerize, and it is a cream shadow. I like how my eye, like the eye makeup how it looks now. I'm just going to add this under the eyes and just see what that is like. So I've got a good amount of product. In fact, I think I have too much. This is how it looks with the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize, and I think it did a good job of moving this product and still giving me enough control that I feel like I didn't go past the areas that I wanted to. I also like how it's angled, so I could use this pointed part here. I think with the brush, it definitely gave me a lot of control over the product, and I was able to just move it onto the designated area without going, you know, out of lines. And I do really find that this angle is it's super helpful. This point here, I could just move this product all the way to the end and just angle it a bit to get this area here. So there's no gap. I really do like that a lot. I also like how it feels, it's very soft. And because this brush did a great job with the eyeshadow product, in comparison to the concealer, I want to now put a eyeliner, this gel liner, on the upper lash line, and I will use this brush to smudge it out and diffuse. So this is how it looks with it diffused. I've got this really smoky look now. Let me repeat it on the other side. For blush, I'm going to go back in with brush 30 to Jouer's Seduce Me, that I love, but I can't always make it work. And if I do choose to use it, it needs to be pretty light. And I feel like this very airy, fluffy brush, it might just be the right kind of fluffiness. I think this brush definitely did an excellent job, being that the blush is so pigmented and it's easy for something so pigmented to grab onto texture, and then I have a hard time diffusing it out. I think using this, it definitely helped me with some of those challenges. Like, I bypassed it, there were no issues, and I really like how this looks. This is way more versatile than I thought it was going to be, which is a very nice and pleasant surprise. Let me pick a lip color and finish up the rest, then I'll come back to summarize my thoughts. This is the finished look, and for the 3 brushes from the holiday set, I'm going to go through each one of them one by one. Brush 32, initially I used it to blend out my concealer. I think it can get the job done, but my preference for concealer is to use a denser brush. Although I think having this angle here is actually fantastic for concealer because of these areas, these smaller areas here, the angle really is helpful for that. For using it on the cream shadow, I thought it was excellent. It felt great under the eyes, and you know, I thought I really put it to the test too, because it's so big that I could, you know, go out of lines at any moment. But again, I think because of this angle, I was mostly just using the center of this brush, where you see it's a little lighter here, to apply the cream shadow, and it worked well. And you guys saw that I used this brush to then smudge out and diffuse the eyeliner above the on the upper lash line. Given that its size, and it's not that densely packed for a smudger brush, or I guess it can be used as a smudger brush, but it's not that densely packed, it wasn't that suitable to use it on this small area here. And I find that if you had a paddle brush that is densely packed, you would make quicker work using that, and then going back into the rest of the area by using this brush. So the angle and the size of it really is helpful for smudging, but for the smaller areas, I think there are other types of brushes that are more suitable. So I think this brush overall really excels at creams for the eyes, and it could also double as a smudger brush. But just for the smaller areas, when you go in, it doesn't necessarily feel like you're gonna move the product too quickly. It needs a little bit more work. However, if you're looking to move or smudge into larger areas, this is gonna be helpful. And again, I think the most fantastic part of this is the angle of the brush. For the foundation brush, number 31, I really enjoyed this when I used it for a liquid foundation because it was very quick. It was streakless, like the application, the finish was streakless. It was quick. It made quick work of it. I also felt like it gave me a coverage of the foundation that was about what it was supposed to be at. It didn't sheer it out. It didn't add more to it. I feel like depending on your technique, you could actually make it more full coverage too, but with the movements that I had, I was definitely just going for speed. When it came to cream foundations, it got the job done. I think it looks really nice. Again, no streaking, no issues with the blending and getting it to settle nicely onto the skin. It's just that it felt heavy, so it didn't feel as quick and it didn't feel as natural. The heaviness, I think, mostly comes from, again, how densely packed and short the bristles are. No fault to its own. I think it's just more suited towards liquid foundation than it is for creams. The other thing to note is that the handle here is considerably heavier than this brush. It's just more, there's more weight down there. I think that's an interesting choice. I do think that if it was a little bit lighter, it would lend to the ease of movement when you use this brush. So that's my preference, but it was an interesting choice. Overall, I actually do like REPHR's design with their handles. I think it is sleek, it is simple to the point. You've got, you know, the brush number nicely printed here. So I like that part of it. You also have this engraving, Japan, that it's made in Japan. So anyways, just a side note, I actually do like the handle design. I just think the weightiness of this it was an interesting choice. I think I would have preferred maybe slightly lighter. For the last brush, number 30, this one really surprised me because of how versatile it is. Because it's light and airy, it did a fantastic job with the loose setting powder, made quick work of it. I think it also did wonderfully with my pigmented blush. I have this nice concentration here, but I diffuse really nicely. And again, the challenge with a pigmented blush that is generally a little bit too deep for my skin tone, but I just love that shade, is that it could grab onto pigment, and once it does, you know, you could have too much product and grab onto pigment. It just doesn't look very nice. You have to put in all the extra work to like clean up or diffuse it. Not an issue with this, so really, really like this brush. Of the three, they all have their nice specialty, and I think they do excel at what they were meant to do. I think this one here is probably going to be my favorite and something that I reach for often because it is very versatile. My only feedback here is if you're looking to get a brush for more pressed powder products, you probably could find a different shape within the REPHR family. For that, this really does excel at more loose powders or something that's not big gelée. That's what I meant to say. Packed or pressed powders like this here is fine. But for big gelée, I think you may need to go for something that's denser. I have all the promotions, everything linked below. If you're interested, definitely go check it out. I do think now is also a good time to try some REPHR brushes or to purchase a set because of the steep discounts are running, and some of the complimentary modular vanities too. So if you have or you need an extra organizer, now might be the time. Let me know below what you think of these brushes. I know when I did my first REPHR video a little while back, I got a lot of feedback and a lot of interest in the brushes. So if there's any other questions you guys have or comparisons you want to see, just let me know. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.